Hi students, in this video I'm going to explain my expectations for discussion boards in this class. You'll see that we have quite a lot of them, and I think this is an important way for you to engage with one another when we're not meeting face to face. So basically I'm just going to work through the rubric here. The area of timeliness. To me, it's not proper participation in the course if you simply upload all 3 of the required posts right at the end of the day, 5 minutes before the deadline. So if you want full credit for timeliness, I expect to see that the initial post is made by the end of the day on Thursday, and then the 2 comments that are required are made by the end of the day on Saturday, which is the final deadline. And you can see that there are increased penalties on your grade for the later your response is. Readings and resources. I expect you to use the readings extensively. I don't just want you to comment airily about your impressions of the reading. I want to see that you're using direct quotes from the reading to support the arguments that you're making. So a good post should have at least one direct quote from the source, probably a couple of other quotes that are summarized or examples that are summarized, and then that should make up about 50% of the post. The other 50% should be your explanation of your understanding of these posts. Context, I want to see that you are linking what you've learned back to the source. So we're reading these discussion sources. They're part of an overarching examination of the topic for the week. I want to see that you can bring in and connect the other material from the textbook, from the lecture videos. I want to see that you can bring that in and explain how that relates to the source that you're reading for the discussion board. Make sure that your post is grammatically clear and correct. Obviously, a couple of little mistakes here and there, that's okay. But if it's a regular occurrence that your post is unreadable or very difficult to read, or it has a lot of spelling errors, or you're spelling the names of an important person or an important place, you're spelling that wrong, that just shows that you're not properly engaging with the reading, you're not properly engaging with the assignment. Comments, make sure your comments are detailed. So I'm not interested in a comment that says, I really liked what you said, and talks more about the initial post than about the text. A good comment is building the discussion, and moving it on to the next phase of the discussion. It says, I really like what you said here. How do you think this applies to this area of the reading? Or don't you think this area of the reading suggests that it's not that straightforward? Something like that. You should be referencing back to the reading. You should be moving the discussion forward, asking a question. That is a great strategy for a comment. If putting together a comment is difficult for you, and it is difficult for a lot of people, this is a kind of a new skill for the first time, then and you want it to be substantial, you want it to be on topic, ask a question. I always say that that's a great way to comment on these discussion boards. So make sure your post is on time. Make sure the initial post is in by the end of the day on Thursday, and the other comments are in place by Saturday. Make sure you're directly referencing and quoting from the source. Make sure you back that up by connecting it with the other material that we're studying over the course of the week. Make sure your comments are substantial and are about the reading. And make sure if someone has already asked a question on a thread that you want to comment on, don't just ask your question and pretend that their question never happened. You need to make sure it's polite, it's proper courtesy to answer that question. Even if you say, hey, I don't really know much about this, here's my idea. That's great. And then you can go on and ask your question. But don't just ignore other people's questions. Make sure that you're engaging as a learning community here. So hope this is helpful. Look out for other video tutorials in this folder.